Okay, we are looking for partners in the RIS. There is the question: what is this mysterious RIS? RIS is the abbreviation for Regional Innovation Scheme, and it's a special tool for some countries who are, according to the European Innovation Scoreboard, below below the average innovation performance of the European Union. It means that they are different, practically Eastern and South European countries, and also age 2020 or former age and 2020 associated countries, which are Horizon Europe associated, and which are Macedonia, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, Turkey, and Ukraine. So, and as you can see on the picture, in 7 countries, we already have RIS hubs. So if you are having the contact, of course, you can approach also the existing RIS hub and RIS hubs, and you can have exchange with them, just to discuss potential cooperation, or just to have their experiences, how to work with us, and what are the main points for them to work with us. So I would like also introduce you our team. On the other side, you can find, so we are having Anna Burgos. She is working with the business creation issues of the RIS. We are having Judith Shermans, who is working on these innovation issues. We are having Anna Veskovic supporting us in the RIS communication. My name is Bence Huba. We are having Laszlo Sós, who is on holiday now, but he is working with the RIS hubs, and he's doing the RIS hub management. And we will have a colleague in RIS education, but she not started until now. So you can see that Anna, both Annas and me are in the call now. So what are the tasks of the RIS hubs we are looking for? So your main task would be to raise awareness in your country for the EIT Urban Mobility activities, for the EIT Urban Mobility innovations, and also identify the key stakeholders to connect them to our community. There are local projects in all the countries. Hopefully, we are trying to have a broad coverage, and you can start your local projects, and you can also support some applications to have more local projects. Of course, we would like to strengthen the local innovation ecosystem. So if you have assessment of the local innovation ecosystem, and if you can say us what is the main gap, we would like to be happy to close this gap. You should scout for potential startups, and very important, that we would like to have in all the countries a local community, very strong, connected to the international community, of course, but this local community could be organized and managed by the local RIS hub. Which are the best qualities to be a RIS hub, which are most appreciated? So I would say that there are 3 different streams, or 3 different areas you can have excellence. First is, of course, mobility. We are dealing with urban mobility, and if you have a good knowledge of urban mobility, if you have a special experience in some special field, urban active mobility like bicycle or cycling, walking, or public realm, or transport, or any other public transport, cargo, any other issues, it's very much appreciated, because our community is the knowledge of our community is of course building on that knowledge what our members have and what our RIS hubs have, and it's much better to make some specialist groups if we have very experienced participants. And of course, the knowledge or good understanding of other issues like city planning, regional planning, transport, cargo, interconnectivity, traffic management, new technologies in the mobility, citizen engagement are key issues, and very good to have. Of course, we know that nobody can have all these qualifications in the same time, but these qualifications are listed. Just if you have them, it's very important to highlight to show us that you are really good in that part of the activities, and because nobody is having all the qualities, it's also happening very often that our RIS hub is not just one entity, but a consortium of different entities, and one is strong in mobility knowledge, for example, the other one is strong in innovation. For example, we are having RIS hubs where a university and a startup accelerator are working together. They can be very good matches, because of course different organizations are working different, having different environment, so they can complement each other very well. The other important point is your network. So of course, network to the cities and to the city networks, it's important, because we would like to work with the cities. We would like to implement our innovations in the cities, and it's very important to have pilots in the cities. But also important to have your connection to the knowledge triangle, because we are in all the projects we are working with the knowledge triangle. You may know that the knowledge triangle means that education, research, and industry are working together. Sometimes we are saying by urban mobility extended knowledge triangle, and it's not a triangle anymore, because in that extended knowledge triangle we understand that also the cities are included, not just research, education, and industry. Of course, it's very good if you have some experience how to work with EIT KICs, and link to the other KICs is also very much welcome. So if we have the possibility, we are happy to work with organizations together who can bridge also our activities to other KICs. In some cases, it's not very easy. For example, with EIT Health, we don't have so many common points. But for example, with EIT Energy, with EIT Climate, somehow through the smart cities, also with EIT Digital, there are common points, also some overlappings, and we can also start cross-kick projects with them. So if you are having this experience, it's very much welcome. And of course, you should be able to manage a local community, because in the end, it's our main goal to have a local community and to have it managed. And maybe the third important part of our activity, we are doing everything for innovation, and because of that, a strong link to the startup ecosystem, it's very much needed. And if you are having startup support activities, it shows that you are having a good track record, and we can continue and build on that track record. Of course, if you are having support activities, you may have also a pipeline of startups. They could be interested for us. It's also very, very welcome and very much appreciated that you are hitting the earth running, and you can start. You can suggest also immediately some startups to work with. And of course, we would like to cooperate also with the national innovation innovation support tools and support organizations. If you know them, it's a big advantage, and it's a good opportunity to build on that. Also, if you have connections, if you have knowledge. So maybe to the call, you know that we are looking in 5 countries as announced by Anna: Croatia, Latvia, Romania, Slovakia, and Turkey. It means that we are expecting organizations coming from that countries. So it's not a good situation if you want to start a RIS hub in Turkey, but you are let's say a company from Romania. So of course, from each country, just local organizations are eligible. But any kind of local organizations. So you can be an NGO, you can be a state-owned agency, you can be a university, which is also somehow, or most of the cases, state-owned. You can be a private company, you can be a small accelerator. Any kind of organizations are welcome, and you can make also a consortia and work together. Maybe it's also really useful for both sides if you can do it. Okay, so you can see that the call has been opened end of May, and the application deadline, maybe it's the most important date, is the 2nd of August at midnight. But if you are ready with your applications, we suggest to upload it earlier, because of course there can be technical problems. It was already happened, and if you want to handle the technical problems in the last minute, it's always a lot of stress and not easy. So if you have the possibility to upload your applications earlier, you can do it every time. Also today, there is no backdraw if you are uploading it earlier than the deadline. So the eligibility check we would like to make in the next 2 weeks. Sorry. So in the next 2 weeks to mid-August, and after that we have to involve external evaluators. For them, we calculated to have 4 weeks, but of course, if it depends also on the number of the applications, how many external evaluators we should have, and how easy this evaluation is. So it can be earlier. But we also, in worst case, we would like to finish it until the 13th of September. 1 week later, we would, after the portfolio decision, we would like to communicate our result to you, and after that you can contract it. You can be contracted and you can start your activities. So to be realistic, we have to say that maybe you can start mid-September. So just from 21, you will have 3.5 months, but maybe the last 2 weeks are not very useful because of the holiday season. So if you are making a work plan for 2021, it means that you should design it to be implementable in 3 months. So the most important information connected to the RIS Hub Call we are looking for long-term partners. So now we have the overview for the next 7 years for the Horizon Europe time. But of course, we are having a longer term or longer term strategy. So it's not stops by 7 years, but what we would like to announce now are the next 7 years, which is already a long period, I would say. And of course, the partners can change in that time. It's not our intention. If everything is working well, we would like to have the same partners in the 7 year. This is the reason because we are making this call for 7 year. So there are no other calls needed for in the next time, but you have to deliver your activity plan yearly. Of course, if some of the partners are not performing very well, or they are not interested anymore, they are reorganized, we can close the contract and look for other partner, but our intention is to have really long-term partners working together. As said, for 2021, you should have the activity plan not very long term, because you will be able just to deliver 4 months. But your first activity and budget plan should be connected with 2021. Later on, end of the year, hopefully, if everything works, end of the year, you should hand in your 2022 activity plan and budget plan if you are contracted and selected as a RIS Hub. So it means that you don't have to have very long-term plans. Of course, if you have some, it's very good, and we can discuss them. But now we are selecting our partner, and your plan is for 4 months. And you can see on the setup of the activity planning that there are different work packages. There is a work package called by us work package 0. It's a mandatory work package, and it means that in that mandatory work package are more or less everything predefined. Costs, KPIs, and everything. This is the minimum we would like to have from our RIS hubs. So if you deliver application, it means that you are agreeing to deliver this mandatory work package, and we don't evaluate this mandatory work package, of course, because it's the same by everybody. But you can add also some other work packages called competitive work packages, and by this additional work packages, EIT Urban Mobility can select some of them, but it's not obliged to take all of them. So you will see later on what are our selection criteria, and if your work package is scoring well, we will select it. If it's not in line with our plans, we will not select it. But you can be selected just with one mandatory work package. So it's not the number of the work packages which decides are you the best hub or not. Your applications have to be submitted by the IT system Plaza. There is a special path prepared. And there are also some technical slides later on. You will see how to do it. And the submitting organization must be registered in Plaza. So if you are not registered until now, please make your registration. It shouldn't be very long, so you can do it in just fill out some data. I think it's just some minutes, and after that you have to submit, and you should get answer in 1 or 2 days. So it's not automatically, but it should be quick. But if you have the possibility to register earlier, please do it, so you can avoid some problems for the future. You can see also the link here to the Plaza system, and we can say that the application itself in Plaza, it's very simple. You will see later on, maximum 2 minutes. Of course, you have to prepare your 2 files, Annex 1 and Annex 2, before, containing all the specific informations, and it can take long, but just the upload itself, it's just 2 minutes, and of course you have to attach your annexes to that, but you can also start with your application earlier, and you can continue it later, so you don't have to do it, or I think you don't have to do it in one run. So to the registration, you can see that if you visit this link, you will have the surface, and you can provide all your data, and after that, after the verification, your application will be completed. To the outputs, KPIs, and deliverables, because they are important in the application. So KPIs are the most tangible results what we have, and because of that, our activities are measured by that. So they are really important. There is a KPI list, and in the KPI list, it's important that you are having by the KPI also the definition. What does it mean? What does it mean, for example, to have a supported startup? And you will see that it means that there should be a legal entity behind. So if you are having just a team with a business idea, it's not a startup. It has a other KPI, but it's not a supported startup. So it should be a company, and you should work with them at least 2 months. So just one-time meeting is not really fitting KPI. So it's always important to look on the KPI. What does it mean? What is the definition? And what kind of needed documentation or evidence have to be provided? It helps you to understand better the KPIs and to understand better what you have to deliver. It's important that if you are committing to deliver one KPI until the end of the year, because KPIs are checked in yearly periods, and in the activity plan what you are offering now, it means you will have the KPIs for 21. Of course, you are having the opportunity to list your 22 KPIs, but the interesting part will be the KPIs for 21, and this you have to deliver until the end of the year. So there is a reporting period in January, and in this reporting period, you have to upload all the documentation that you reached the KPI. If you have reached, it's very good. If not, we both are having problems and have to have explained to EIT, and there is not very much room for a discussion. So we should design the KPI well, that we can reach them. Outputs are the other part we have to define. So there is very often the question, what is the difference between outputs and deliverables? So outputs are the actions we are delivering to reach our KPIs, and deliverables are the documents which can be uploaded as a report about how have been the KPIs and outputs reached. For example, let me say one example. So our KPI could be that we are making an educational course, and you are educating 10 students. So it's they are two KPIs already. One is the course, one is the students. The output is that if you are making the course, and of course you are documenting it, so the course is happening and your students are there, it's the output, and the deliverables are the reports, how you have delivered, the participation lists, and all your documentation photos are part of the deliverable. You shouldn't have very much deliverables. So different outputs can be reported in one deliverable. So also, if you are making several outputs and several KPIs, we suggest you to have an interim report and a final report, and it's fine. So you don't have to have separate deliverables for all the activities, because it's makes a lot of administration on your side. To the structure of the work packages, you can see that there is the mandatory work package. They are quite easy tasks. So you should map your local ecosystem, what kind of stakeholders are there, which are interesting for us, and we are giving also a template to you that helps you to deliver it. You should also map your local events connected to urban mobility. So you should be aware that there are, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5, not very much national events. They are really important, and we should discuss it, how to participate on that. We are giving also an Excel format for that, and it's also a very easy task. You should have a dissemination and communication plan. It sounds very serious. It is also, but it's also an easy thing, I think, and Anna Veskovic can support you by that. So we are having also a template, and this communication plan means that you should have a plan in which meetings, which events you would like to present EIT Urban Mobility, and how would you present, and how can we make more visibility for EIT Urban Mobility. And you should organize at least one stakeholder event to connect potential interested stakeholders to our network. You should support startups or scale-ups to organizations. So you should have a basic startup support activity, or you should make educational activities. So you can choose that in the mandatory package, you are choosing startup support or educational activity. And you should promote, of course, actively EIT Urban Mobility in different local events. And we will have, or we are having monthly meetings for the RIS hubs to support your work. And we would like to have also annual RIS hub meetings to make an exchange of best practice. And of course, you have to report all your activities. By the mandatory work is funding 22,000 euro, and there should be a co-funding from your side, 3,000 euro. Of course, this co-funding don't have to be cash, so you can say that somebody in part of the working time is working on that, and you are not accounting all the costs, just a part of the costs, and this 3,000 euro can be covered by that. Or by other in-kind activities. And the KPIs are predefined and mandatory. You can see it in the Annex 2 in the Excel sheet. And there are different areas to make competitive work packages. One of the areas is the awareness raising. The other area is the innovation support. The third is startup support. The fourth is education, and the fifth is community building. Of course, in the first time, you will more focus on the awareness raising and less on community building. Later on, if everybody knows already the kick activities and you have more partners, you should more focus on community building, I think. And these work packages can be defined by you. There is no strong rule. You don't have to cover all the areas, so you can say, okay, I make just the mandatory package, or you can say I have the mandatory package and I start 10 competitive packages, which is maybe too ambitious, but it's up to you. So you can make also let's say in the education 2 or 3 different work packages and 3 different activities, and you can say, okay, I make an educational work package for students how to be entrepreneur, and I make a educational work package for city professionals, how to be updated by the activities. So number and budget of the competitive work packages is not limited, and as I said, EIT Urban Mobility is free to select any work packages. Of course, if you are selected as a RIS Hub, it means that both sides are already having the obligation that you have to deliver the work package 0, and we have to pay for the work package 0. So there is no question in case of work package 0 by a selected RIS Hub. By all the other work packages, it's up to you what to suggest, and it's up to us what to take. And how we evaluate our work packages. So of course, it's very important for us that it has to have a strategic fit. So it should be very well connected with EIT Urban Mobility activities. So if you are suggesting, I don't know what kind of educational activities which don't have this important element of entrepreneurship and mobility, of course, it's not welcome. By the impact, it's very important to see what are the delivered KPIs, and not just the KPIs, but also what are the long-term impacts, because maybe there are some impacts we cannot have or displayed by the KPIs, but it has a very important long-term impact. In that case, of course, we are looking also on that. The third very important point is the value for money. So if you are delivering if one of the hubs is delivering 10 supported startups for a budget of X, and the other is delivering 20 or just 5 supported KPIs for a budget of 2X's, so 2 times more, it means that we will prefer, of course, the one with the better specific costs. So value for money is an important point and should be also. And the fourth point is how realistic is it that it will not fail? So do you have the implementation competence? Do you see estimate the risk, and do you have a risk mitigation strategy? Are you having the network to implement it, and is the time plan realistic? to deliver it. They are really important informations, I would say. Some of the most frequent questions we received earlier: is the activity plan done annually? Yes, as I told, it's done annually, and you are having an annual budget, and you are having annual work packages. You should cover by the budget your active year. So year by year you will have a new budget, so you don't have to have the budget plan for the next 7 years now, just for 2021. The 300,000 euro, which is the budget of the call, is foreseen for all the 5 countries, and is up to 300. So of course, if you are dividing it by 5, you will see that 60,000 euro is foreseen, or not foreseen, but possible for one RIS hub. Of course, since the delay of the call and of the Horizon Europe program in this year, it's very limited what you can deliver in 3 or 4 months. So maybe it's not really realistic to have this amount, but it's the overall budget for all applications together, for all selected hubs and for all selected work packages. What is the difference between the mandatory work package and the rest of the work packages? Of course, mandatory is mandatory. So as told, there are everything predefined and you have to deliver, but they are more basic activities, just to have the overview and just to start. And all the advanced things, programs you can make in the other work packages, in the competitive work packages. Can the consortia made of partners from different countries? No, we would like to have all the RIS hub entities from the same country where the RIS hub is working. So we would like to have, it's an eligibility criteria to be from the country you are applying for. And are the KPIs expected to be reached in 1 year? Yes, and Bence said it's foreseen to be reached until the end of the year. So if you are starting in September, it means that your KPIs should be not reached in next September, but you have to design your KPIs that you can reach them until the end of the year, until end of December. Okay, and let's see the technical side, how you can make the application. It's really easy. So you have to make the registration to Plaza. If you are coming to Plaza, you will see a surface like that. Maybe you will not see all windows, so it's my surface, but I took the picture. But anyway, you will have this part with the red circle, and you will see RIS Call 2021 open. If you are clicking on that, you will see a menu with different activities, or maybe not, because you are not allowed to see all of them, but they are there. But anyway, you will see a button with the red circle, add new proposal. If you are pushing that, a window is popping up, and you should push create a new to the proposal. Do you want to continue? Yes, create new. And if you push that, you will see this surface. So it's a new proposal. And by the new proposal, by the area, you have to select EIT Regional Innovation Scheme. By the segment, you have to select, they are the active ones, these 3 now, and you have to select 8, 9, which means RIS new hub calls, new hubs call for proposals. And if you do it, you will have activity title, acronym, so you can have any activity title and any acronym you like. There will be a ID generated, and automatically the start and end date will be from start to end of the year. You can correct it to September if you want, but you can leave it also that way. It doesn't have any importance. By the activity description, you can have a short sentence. It's not very important because it's just for the registration. You can write that proposal for the RIS Hub activity in Turkey, for example, and it's done. And you see the two red lines, and on the red lines are connected with the uploading of the files with Annex 1 and Annex 2. You have to select on your computer, and after push the button upload proposal, and if you push the upload button, there will be a file appearing, and you will see that it's uploaded, and after that you can push the button check and save on the below, and if you or you can just save. If you push check and save, if you have any missing parts, it will be, of course, mentioned. And you will see that there are different tabs, but tab 0 is where you can see start here is the only tab that you have to fill out, and all the other tabs are not active in your case. So it was the whole application. Not to forget check and save, to push, and you will see that it's okay or not. And this was the upload. Of course, there can be different questions connected to Annex 1 and Annex 2, because they are much more long and complicated, but we are having also a guideline to that, and we hope that you can define to all your work packages your deliverables and outputs, and you can introduce your organization. So I hope that it's not so complicated. You should just focus on the professional part of the activities. So we hope that it's not getting very complicated to make the application. And now we are already by the Q&A session of our meeting. So I don't know what is the right how to start with the applications, how to start with the questions. So made you any selection, Anna, already, or we should go one by one?
I have been collecting the questions, and I try to organize them by topics. So if you
thank you very much.
Agree, we will start about some eligibility questions. So I will rephrase the question.
What?
Would one city or the union of municipalities be more suitable as a project partner?
So yeah, any kind of organization, as said, can be RIS hubs, but our experience is that cities are very administrative organizations, so they are not really very dynamic, and because of that, in the most of the cases, maybe there are better organizations to be a RIS hub. Your city is also welcome, but we should be aware that if there is a city alone, it means that most of the cases you will be slow. because of public procurement, because of all the city decision-making processes. Maybe your city is different, and it's very much welcome. But we see that if you are having a small accelerator, the owner can take all the decisions in 5 minutes. If you are having a big university or a city, the decisions can take very long, and this is also one of the reasons that it can be very complementary if you are having a kind of consortia, because the more flexible activities or the more spontaneous activities can be made by the smaller organizations, and some other big issues can be delivered by the big ones maybe, but it's up to you. So all kind of organizations are eligible.
Another question about eligibility is, in case of a consortium, are there any rules to split co-financing among partners?
No, it's your decision. Also in the projects, if you are applying later on for EIT Urban Mobility projects, you may know that there is overall co-financing, but how is it distributed to the partners? It's your decision, and also in this case, it's your decision who is bringing the co-financing and who not. And of course, very important, I have forgot to mention that we are having by the mandatory work package this obligatory co-financing, but also by the competitive work packages, co-financing is expected and welcome. And of course, if you are having a higher co-financing, your activity is much more welcome, and it have a much higher chance to be selected. And by the different work packages, the co-funding rate can be different, and of course, in this case, you distribute the co-funding as you wish.
Okay, sorry, we are having a lot of questions. Another one, I will like mix them. Is it compulsory to have an external partner? And also, if they need a consortium, or one entity can apply if it shows that has all the preconditions?
Yes, one entity can apply. So there's no. I don't really understand the term external partner, because yeah, all organizations are welcome, but it can be one, it can be several in a consortia, and it doesn't make any difference that are you EIT Urban Mobility member or not, project partner or not. So you can be completely new by urban mobility, but you can have also some experiences, and I can have some projects already.
I guess that answers the next question. That was, is there a cap for the number of local consortium partners? And is it expected that those partners eventually become EIT paying partners?
So yes, so we are preparing our new partnerships strategy, because through the Horizon Europe change, the rules changed also, and we would like to have, at least I suggested, to have a special kind of partnership for the RIS hubs. Anyway, all stakeholders we would like to approach in the RIS countries, we would be happy to have them on long term as partners. There will be different partner categories with different fees, and there is also a partner category without fee. It's called network partnership. So there are different categories, but we would like to welcome everybody as a partner, and we would like to have everybody connected to our activities. And maybe there is a part of the question I didn't answer well, but I don't get it now.
Is there a cap for the number of local consortium partners?
Yes, thank you very much. There is no cap. But to be honest, we see, for example, in case of Greece, we are having a consortium with 4 partners, and it's already complicated to coordinate 4 partners. So we are having very good running RIS hubs with 3 partners. We are having very good running RIS hubs with just 1 partner. We are in the highest number is in Greece with 4 partners. I think it's a challenge if you are having more organizations, because all the contributions of the different organizations is getting smaller and smaller, but there is no cap.
Okay. Another one is, how will the partners be paid?
We will have a sub-granting contract, which we would like to close mid-September. And normally, by our partners, we are paying 50% in advance, and for the next 30-40% by the first milestone, and the remaining part by the project closure. Of course, it will be a challenge if we are having the contract just in September, because but maybe it should be the same, and we could have a interim milestone, maybe start of November or mid-November, and we can pay in September, we can pay in November, and we can pay by the final report.
Another one is, would some different...
And if the question, sorry, if the question for the payment is regarding is there a lead who is coordinating, it's not needed. So we can directly pay to all the partners if you are defining your costs. We can have all the costs separated in the contract, and you can say, okay, there are different partners. I don't know, 10,000 euro is getting to that partner, and the other 10,000 to the other, and we can distribute it also in that way.
Then can some different divisions of one higher educational institution be eligible as project partners?
Higher education institution, of course. So in many of the cases, all the different KICs across Europe are having a lot of universities and RIS hubs. Universities has some big advantages. So they are very much involved in the research and education. They are having a very good network. They are having also very good connections to the innovation and to the state organization. So they are very good, and they can have also own university-owned accelerator, which is also a big advantage. Just the only backdraw is that universities are having strong rules and maybe administrative rules, which makes all the activities a bit slower. But of course, universities are very good partners in any case for any KICs.
And what is the expected number of human resources to run the RIS Hub activities and coordinate the project?
Yes, it depends on your ambition regarding the work packages. Of course, if you are defining a lot of work packages, to manage them, it's always higher. You need higher resources. So if you are making, I don't know, 5 educational courses and 3 events, of course you will need, I think, 2 people to manage them. So we would like to have addressed that at least one partner is named and 1 partner is reachable. But for the mandatory activities, there is no more yeah, mandatory tasks. So you can do the mandatory activities, I think, also with a half FTE. So it's not really needed to have a high number of people involved.
Sorry, I'm not sure if you answered already this one, but is there any specific requirement for consortium partners?
No requirement. So you can have any kind of organizations, any number, and you can be connected as you wish. But the I think it's good to discuss that, or good to make your decision that if too many partners, it can be very complicated administration. And there is also the question what kind of activities you will make to that all these partners are needed. Of course, it's nice to have somebody as partner, but if they are not delivering any activity, maybe you just have the coordination with them. And so I think that it's really better to have partners with clear added value than to have a very big consortia and say, okay, we are covering everything, but 50% of our partners are quite passive.
Okay, if we pass to the annex and the call, one question is it mandatory to attack the Horizon Europe Model Grant Agreement?
Yes, so the EIT funding is a part of the Horizon Europe program, but a special part. So we are having special agreements and special contracts. As RIS Hub, you can be sub-grantee. It means that if you are sub-grantee, you are not accessing the model or the model grant agreement. I think the model grant agreement is between, the funding model is changing. I think no, it was foreseen for 22, but maybe not in 22, but 23 we will have a cascading model, and in the cascading model everybody will be sub-grantee, and we obliged to have this to sign this framework partner agreement, but now you don't have to, and later on I think also not, but it depends on the changes. So you will have a sub-granting contract this year if you are not EIT Urban Mobility Partner. If you are EIT Urban Mobility Partner, you will get a grant contract, but on long term it's changing because of the funding structure, because of the change of the funding structure of the Horizon Europe.
And we have another question from before that was just put up. Do all partners have to be involved in the RIS project from the same country, unlike other EIT projects?
Yes, so the RIS Hub activity is focusing on one country, and because of that, of course, you can have connections with the other countries, community,
Sorry,
but
Bence.
working the given country. Yeah,
No,
sorry.
we were losing you a bit, but yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. So you are focusing on the given country, and you would like to boost the innovation ecosystem and the activities in your country. So it means that you don't need and you cannot have any other. So all the eligible organizations are from your country, and it's not like by the normal projects where you have to have this horizon rules and you have to have at least 2 countries and different regions and so on. We are looking local partners, and local partners should be active locally, and also, so it's not really the same. It's not a real project, a Horizon Europe project in the traditional sense, but more a kind of local office what we are looking for, and which with which we are working together.
There are some questions of the date. When do they have to submit the proposals for next year, and also the yearly activity plan and budget?
Yes, so there are no date until now defined. It's also more or less depending from our contract with EIT, which is always told that we should have it at the start of the year, but there is always some delay. But of course, we would like to have a continuity in the activities, and your costs will be eligible from the 1st of January. It's no question of the next year. We would like to run this activity planning end of this year, and we would like to have all the decisions until end of this year. But there is a delay possible if there are external reasons they limit us, but it's foreseen on that way. So next year you can start on the start of the year with your activities, hopefully.
Another question is, how can we outline our network of stakeholders? Should we collect some letters of support? Can we attack them in the application?
Yes, so you can attach it to your Annex 1 and generate the PDF on that way. It could be a good way to show the interest of other partners or your supporters network.
Another question is about, for example, education activities. Do they need to provide the training program details, such as training materials, for example?
No, you should have the intention to deliver these programs, and if your activity is selected, we should make some discussions with the EIT Urban Mobility Academy, because of course we are having also training materials, and we are having also or we are having an educational strategy. So it's very, if you have the opportunity to discuss with the academy what you would like to do, and if you have the buy-in, it's very good. But if you don't have, we can make it after the selection process. So we are having also some very easy educational material, like educational videos or online courses you can use for your activities, but we can have also more advanced way to work together.
There are some questions about Annex 2. For example, is it expected that all the KPIs from the Annex 2 will be delivered in 2021 in
Yes.
2 months?
Yes. So if you are suggesting something for 21, it should be delivered in 21. And if you have activities, you know that you are just able to deliver in 22. So you should not suggest them, but maybe next year you can do it.
Another question about the call is, in the call manual, in the section strategic fit evaluation, there are 3 fields. I'm not sure about the question, but maybe it's a doubt they have about the strategic fit evaluation.
Yeah, by a strategic fit, you can download also the strategic agenda of EIT Urban Mobility, and you can see what kind of actions are planned. So everything what we are doing is done for innovation. So we are educating people to be entrepreneurs and to be good professionals in urban mobility. If they are start any business, we are supporting the businesses, and of course, if there are innovations by bigger companies, not just by startups, we are having the innovation program to involve them. We are having also the city club to have a close city connection to check our challenges and to react on the solutions and to test them. And we are also having the factory which should connect us with practical solutions, and we would like to deliver our solutions to the city with the support of the factory, and with the help of the factory, we should also be connected to other to other European funding or projects with European funding, or programs with European funding.
There's another question also, which KPIs are relevant for 2021?
All KPIs you can delete. So of course, supported startups, of course, educated people, of course, the event you can deliver. So it depends. So you can see the mandatory work package connected KPIs in the Excel sheet, and you can see also in the Excel sheet for other activities, for example, for educational activities, suggested KPIs like the number of the courses, or like the number of the educated professionals. But you can take also other KPIs from the list if you are making a special action, and then you have the feeling that other KPIs cover it much better. So it's always important to take a look on the justification, or on the definition, and on the evidence needed, because it defines really the KPI. But you are free to change also in the Excel sheet the KPIs if you have the impression that some other KPIs are covering better your suggested action.
Another interesting question is, could the activity leader change per work package?
Yes, so of course, we are using the term activity leader for the lead organizations of the RIS Hub. So if you are having a consortia, it's not you can define who is the activity leader, but you don't have to define the activity leader work package by work package. So we will see that who is delivering it, and it will be clear that it has the main role in the work package. So you don't have to define activity lead for work packages just for your consortia, and all the consortia members will support each other to deliver all the work packages.
And then how does the reporting activity relate to the deliverables?
The deliverables are the reporting activities. So if you are deliver the deliverables, they are mostly reports, and it means that you delivered everything what you have to. So deliverables and reporting are, I can say, more or less synonyms. Of course, the deliverables are the documents you are handing in, and reporting is the whole process. And of course, we have had, and maybe in the next years, we will also have some EIT assessment if we hand it in. And after that, we have to make some extensions or amendments or corrections. The reporting process is covering also them. So for me, the reporting is a larger unit, and deliverables are just the reports you are uploading to us, but more or less it's the same procedure.
My question is, co-financing for competitive work packages can also be in kind?
Yes, of course. Co-financing is basically mostly in kind. So it's by the projects, by the main projects of EIT Urban Mobility, co-financing mostly in kind. Of course, if you are having some national co-financing or not from your organization, it's also very much welcome, and it's very much supported, because on the long run, of course, we will have always more and more RIS hubs, and we would like to make more and more activities, but the budget will not increase so much. So it means that on long term, if you are able to deliver also more co-financing and national co-financing, it's very much welcome. Some national co-financing from governmental or from company side could be in cash or really funding, but normally what is delivered by the project owner, by the activity lead and consortium member, it's mostly always in kind.
Okay, should we consider model grant agreement for eligible cost? In which section?
Yes, the eligible costs are defined by that. Also by the call we uploaded as annex 4, I think, but I should check. Some guidance related to the costs. But the general rules of Horizon Europe are also the most important here.
There's a question that what does it exactly mean, mapping local ecosystem and stakeholders? Should that be on the database?
Yes, it's more, if we are talking about database, it's made now in Excel. Maybe if we are introducing the IT system Podium, maybe we will be more advanced. But to have a really simple explanation, you should know who are the important player in your country regarding urban mobility, and we should be able to approach them and say, okay, there is a new organization, and do you want to work together? And these kind of organizations are normally companies, universities, cities, research institutions, NGOs, and also some governmental organizations connected to mobility, connected to innovation, and maybe connected to EU funding on the governmental side.
There are still some doubts about the KPIs from Annex 2. So the question is, do they have to put in the proposal all the KPI from Annex 2, or should just select the ones that will be delivered in 2021? You
should select the ones you can deliver. So you are the KPIs. There are more suggestions. I think good suggestions, but if you have better KPIs, of course you can choose them. And the danger is that if you are having no KPI, it means for EIT that there is no activity. So matching KPI to find would be important, just to know that yeah, your activities are measurable.
I think we can start with the budget questions. One of them is the 300,000 euro budget for the 2021, or is it smaller given that we only have 4 months to deliver?
You just have 4 months to deliver in this case, so it's really limited.
Okay, another one, is the limit per hub 60,000 euros, or can one hub take more if the other one takes less?
Yes, of course. So you can apply with all kind of work packages, so if you are applying, I don't know, for 100,000 euro, it doesn't mean that you are getting the 100,000 euro, because some of your work packages will be selected, some others not. So because of that, there is also has no meaning to have a certain cap for your activities. But to be honest, if you take a look what can be delivered in the 3 months, I think that the budget should be more than enough. But of course, there is no equal distribution. So of course, it's based on the work packages, and if somebody is delivering much more productive work packages than the other, then our main interest is to take these work packages.
I guess you already answered this, but like a question is 60K is for the 4 months in 2021. What will be the average budget for 2022?
It depends. It depends on the work packages you are defining. So I hope that we will have also in the future average budget for a hub of 60,000 euro per year. I hope that if we are having more hubs in the future, it's not sure anymore. But I planning normally with this amount, but of course it's not evenly distributed. So if somebody is more active, can get more. If somebody is less active, of course, maybe somebody is just getting the mandatory work package, and it just gets this 22,000 euro.
Okay, we have 6 minutes left and 4 questions still. One of them is, as per current documentation, the mandatory KPIs for 22,000 euros budget and 3,000 euro cofinancing seems to be mandatory per year. What proportionally is mandatory to be done in 2021, and on what budget?
So, as said by the mandatory work package, I think this proportion of this close to 12 or 13% of those 3,000, it's okay, and I think it's okay also for the next years. So I planning to have the same co-funding next years. Of course, by the activities, by the competitive work packages, it can be different, because if you are suggesting an educational activity, that can have lower co-funding, because by education there is sponsorship and maybe also the incomes not so high. Of course, if you are making a kind of city-ton, or if you are making programs with companies together, we hope that these companies are taking also their sponsorship, and because of that, the co-financing can be higher. So I would say that realistically, co-financing of the different work packages should be maybe between 5 and 40%, which in some non-market oriented activities, it's understandable, it's lower. And if it's market oriented or it's producing incomes, it should be higher on the co-funding side.
Another one is within the scope of the project, a 3-month work package will be prepared for 2021. The total budget of these work packages is up to 60,000 euros. Considering the work packages of 2022-27, will the work packages prepared in 2021 be repeated as 4 terms? Key 1, Key 2, Key 3, Key 4, or do we need to prepare a completely different 12-month work package?
No, so this activity plan is foreseen. What you are delivering now is foreseen for 1 year. So of course we will have our learnings from this year's system, and maybe we would like to adapt for next year also the whole system to make it more customer friendly and to make it more simple. But there is not foreseen to have from the different quotas, different activity plans. You have to deliver it just once, and if we would be in January, you would deliver the same. So it means that this structure should be for 1 year. Of course, because of financing, we can think just in 1 year terms, and because of that, should be separate activity and budget plan for every year. But it can be very similar, and the structure should be very similar than we are having for this year. Also, if this year is already very short, but it doesn't mean that this activity plan what you are delivering is just for 1 quarter. It should be for the whole year. Just unfortunately, because of the delay and because of the call opening process, it's and evaluation process, it's getting shorter this year.
Another one is, are expenses such as Congress hall rent, catering, organizational companies, stationary expenses considered as all eligible costs for events such as workshops, info days, success stories that are planned to be held in F2F?
Yes, of course. All the costs connected with the events are eligible. Just we have to take a look on that, and two things should be considered. One is that everybody is eager to make face-to-face events. But there is some uncertainty also of this, for the second half of the year, how you can do it. And if you are reserving a budget, but you cannot do it face-to-face, but online, it means that you are not using your budget. And because of course the online event will be much cheaper, because you need no venue, no catering, and so on. It's the one side that we should be realistic, and we should also see that if there is the possibility to make face-to-face events in the second half of the year, I think that the offer will be quite big. Because all the events in the last 1.5 or 2 years were postponed, and people are postponing now for the autumn. So it can be that you are having a very big offer of events, and maybe not so many people who are having the time to participate. So maybe it's also good to consider, if you are making an event, to make with somebody together, with some national organizations who are established and who know that they will have people there. So you can be also co-organizer of an event. It's not a problem. And the second point I wanted to mention, that of course we can dream very large events with very high costs, but of course, EIT Urban Mobility has their own benchmarks, and it's also somehow reflected in the Annex 2 sheet. And if your costs are very high, maybe it's getting not selected, or it's getting selected with the condition that your costs should be rationalized somehow.
And another one from budget is there a cap for funding startups?
I'm not sure that I understand the question. So if it's about that you would like to make a support program for startups, and this how much budget can have this support program? No, it's a suggested work package, and of course, according to your KPIs will be this work package assessed. If you want to have investments or so more advanced business creation support, it should be through the business creation part of EIT Urban Mobility. So if you are taking a look on the homepage of EIT Urban Mobility, there are all the business creation activities listed, like Finance to Move, like the other programs, and maybe for higher amount of funding, it's more realistic to use that tools. So in the RIS startup support, we are using this money to fill the pipeline and to have good applicants for our accelerator program and for other business creation programs.
There was another question regarding for the expenses. If, like, with the budget for Congress Hall, renting, etc., can you pay the speakers to attend the events?
I know that by most of the conferences, it's so very everyday story. It depends on the importance, of course. We don't plan to have events for several 10,000 euros in just one country. We are having our main event, and it's important to know for you maybe that we are having cooperation with Tomorrow Mobility, with FIRA Barcelona, and you can also check on the homepage. In mid-November, we will have a big event in Barcelona. So FIRA is making a part of the fair, and we are making a part of the conference, and it's the large event. So we have had also 1 year before online summit with 1,200 people, and also this new Tomorrow Mobility cooperation makes us possible to have a really large scale event, international, but in the countries itself, we would like to be really as far as possible having a rational cost structure and not make very expensive events.
Okay, I think we have another one. Sorry.
You can see in the chat, so Anna posted also the link,
yes,
to Tomorrow Mobility. Thank you very much, Anna.
You're welcome. There are 2 other questions related to other topics, but I think with these 2 ones we can finish because it's already 12:30. What are the mandatory KPIs for 4 months in 2021 and budget for that?
So the mandatory KPIs for the mandatory activities are the same. The KPIs for the competitive work packages you can define. It's your decision according to that what you can deliver. By the mandatory KPIs, we cannot say that make just a part of the stakeholder mapping because it's one time made, and it's makes sense to make it of course to finish it, and by the other activities, for example, by the business creation, startup support, there is just the KPI of 2 startups, which is not very ambitious. So of course, it can be delivered by everybody. So I don't see a reason to, because of the shorter term, to reduce the KPIs of the mandatory package. Also, the costs of the mandatory package are not reduced. And by the competitive work packages or additional work packages, it's your decision what is realistic and what you can do in this short term.
And the last question is about eligibility is, do the people working with the lead organization running the project have to be employed by the organization?
So you have to, if you not. So the short answer is not. But if you are delivering in-kind co-financing, of course you have to show that you have had the costs. Or somebody have had the costs who is part of the consortium. It means that if you are having somebody contracted, and of course you can show that this contract has been paid, it's also a kind of in-kind contribution. Also, if the people are not own employees, but yes, I would say that most of the cases, it's the most important to say, okay, this and this own resources has been used, and it's also easier on the administration side, I would say. But also in some cases, you can have also project contracts. So you don't have to have permanent employees, but you can have also project contracts. It's more important in the projects, I would say, because you can see the structure of the annexes that in that activity, in the RIS Hub activity, it's not really important what are your colleagues earning, because we are more focusing on the activities, and we say, okay, if you are delivering an event and you need 15,000 euro or 10,000 euro, it's nice, and let's do it, and let's define the target group and so on, and this amount should cover all the costs. And it's up to you how you distribute it and how much people are earning. Of course, if there is an audit, you have to show that you use this money for that activity, and the activity should be should have a good price impact ratio. But since we are orienting us in the RIS Hub activity on certain KPIs and activities, it's not really important who is directly employed on a permanent contract and who is more just contributing as an expert. But the general financial rules of Horizon Europe are also have to be respected there.
Well, Bence, thank you, everyone. I think we can close the webinar. We will share this presentation as well, the video with you, and also we will publish all the questions in the call, the proposal. And for the ones that you still have some questions, we invite you to our next webinar, which is going to take place the 20th of July at 1 p.m. You can find in the website the registration as you did for this one. And thank you again for your participation and for all your questions.
Anna, maybe it's important to highlight that our next webinar on the 20th, it's a parallel seminar, so it's not an add-on. We make the same for the ones who are not attending now or who had not the questions until now, but later on, yes. But it's planned to have parallel. So if you have no other questions, you have no real reason to attend on that. But we are happy if we are having, of course, attendees on that seminar as well.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I see that there is a hand of Peter Burial. Unfortunately, we cannot give you the micro, but I hope that your question was already answered. And yeah, I would like to thank my colleagues and to thank you for your attention. And I wish you very successful application.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Bye.